And good morning, welcome to the VSA Capital 5-Minute Morning Miner on Friday, the 14th of April. Happy Friday to everybody. It was a short week, but I'm still sure you're all looking forward to the weekend and the Grand National. And actually, my morning was made this morning, Paul, because I was cycling in at about 5:45 this morning, listening to BBC Radio 5 live. I do wear headphones on my cheeks so I can hear the traffic, by the way. And they were talking about the silver price because suddenly people have noticed that the silver price is going up and away, as they say, very close to $26 now, trading at currently 25.85. We obviously been talking about silver quite a lot, in particular our corporate client Guanajuato Silver, which actually over the last 2 days is up over 30%. So it is worthwhile listening to what we have to say. I think personally silver could go to $30 at this time, but then I would also have to say, we said before that with commodities you have to always keep a bit of an eye out. When one has a big run up, that's normally time to get out, but at $30 a pure silver producer has huge leverage. If your operating costs are in the teens, every dollar is pure profit. So you could actually see still quite a big spike up in some of the silver plays. Obviously Fresnillo is the one to play in the FTSE, and Guanajuato Silver is basically a mini-me at Fresnillo, both in Mexico, both got assets in very similar places. Do you agree or disagree with all of that, Paul?
Yes, very much. I would say a very close, a good statement, I would say, at this point. You do have to be nimble, though, so keep an eye on those markets.
So I could be an analyst. Very good. Actually, some of the news today is from silver companies, isn't it? We've got Aftermath Silver. We've got it's one other one I saw.
Silvercorp, yes.
Silvercorp, yeah. Why don't you mention those ones? There's a few gold bits around as well. So off you go, Paul. Tell us about the news this morning.
Yes, it's mostly news outside of the London Exchange released here in the last 24 hours. We had Aftermath Silver that had filed its NI 43-101 technical report on its Berenguela silver, copper, manganese project in Peru. That they've working on a PEA here to get finished during next year, sometime in 2024 on this project. So they've got quite a bit of additional drilling to do on it, as well as metallurgical testing, just to see how they might separate silver, copper, zinc, manganese. It's a polymetallic deposit down there, so quite a bit of work to do. Silvercorp Metals, they released a quarterly production statement here, and did notice in that it was looking like the quarter-on-quarter numbers were pretty stable as far as grades and recoveries across their operations, including within mainland China, but that their year-on-year production grade and recoveries have declined a little bit there. But 12%, for instance, in zinc production decline in the prior year, but other things like silver, gold, and lead all increased from a year ago overall. So it's a mixed bag of results from Silvercorp. Also had results out from Hecla, for instance, was showing a nice increase in production to just over 4 million ounces in the first quarter, which was up 22% compared to a year ago, whereas gold was about 5% down at just under 40,000 ounces. So they are making good progress at Hecla, but I would keep an eye just to see whether or not they can stabilize it at better production levels. They do have Lucky Friday mine in Idaho, otherwise performing pretty well here now. It appears they might be able to stabilize that. And they are trying to get the Keno Hill mine in the Yukon, which they didn't acquire that many months ago, to get into production in the third quarter. So we're keeping a close eye on that too.
We love a Lucky Friday. Anyway, right, so there's quite a lot of silver news out today, and say we've still got a little bit further to travel in silver. Now we had Barrick Gold. Actually yesterday they put out some production numbers, didn't they?
Yes, they did, with Barrick producing 0.95 million ounces gold and 88 million pounds of copper in their first quarter of 2023. This compares to 1 million ounces of gold and 1.01 million pounds of copper from a year ago. Whereas they had produced the 1.12 million ounces of gold and 96 million pounds of copper in the fourth quarter. Cost of sales is the key point here, and AISC costs are the notable items there. They are all up on Barrick operations compared to Q4, and they are predicting that for the year, their C1 cash costs per pound are going to be quite a bit higher on the copper side due to various issues. So keeping a close eye just on these numbers, but it's not that favorable if they're going to have this kind of cost pressures to sustain for the remainder of this year. So we'll be looking for some improvement if they can make it there.
And I think we should probably finish on Siren Gold, which is exploring, isn't it, in New Zealand on the South Island. But actually, it's not about gold. It's all about antimony.
Yes, Siren is a name we haven't followed very closely previously, but the interesting thing there is their very first hole program on their Reefton project. It has come up with quite a bit of visible antimony in that first core hole. They are drilling a structure which occurs between two past producing mines there in the Reefton district, including offsetting an old open pit from Oshona from several years ago. This style of gold mineralization typically is high in arsenopyrite too, and it's very similar otherwise to the Costerfield style geology that you see in Australia. Antimony being one of the critical minerals across all of the Western world, as the China really dominates that market as far as processed antimony for the fire retardant sector, but it's also a key battery input material too.
Very good. We'll leave it there. Everybody have a very good weekend. The weather looks not too bad. Enjoy the Grand National if you're betting on that, and good luck to you.
Right. We'll see you next week.